You have 3 seconds to do this. What's that? Catch somebody's attention on social media. On today's video, I'm going to show you some tips on how you can write caption titles or hooks that will draw people in those first 3 seconds. You can gain those ideal clients that you're looking for your business. Hi, welcome to our channel. My name is Maggie Carey. I'm a social media strategist. I'm here to help busy business owners create and design social media content with less time, with more engagement, and with less stress. Today's episode, I'm going to talk to you about those 3 seconds that you have to grab somebody's attention on social media. Of course, you need amazing graphics. You need things that are going to draw people's attention visually. Graphics, videos. Canva is my favorite tool for that. But today I'm talking about those captions, those things that sometimes people forget about doing or don't think are important. And let me tell you, if you are one of those people, today I'm going to prove to you that these captions are vital for an engaging social media presence. One of the things that you have to remember is a catchy title is going to help you because it's going to increase your click-through rate. It's going to help you get more views on your content because people are looking for more than just the video. They want the meat, they want the information, they want the detail. And in addition to that, you want to engage your audience. And of course, we're always talking about the foundation of our social media. Do you know what that is? It's our brand. Your brand is so vital for your social media. When we're talking about tips on captions, we want to create catchy social media post titles or hooks in the first line or the first sentence that we're going to write. Remember, when you're looking at a social media feed, usually you're only seeing the first 2 to 3 lines, and then you'll see a see more. Well, you want somebody to hit that see more because when they do, that increases your engagement according to the algorithm, and it will reward you because the more people click that see more, the more engagement you're going to get, and you're going to increase that elusive algorithm results that we all are trying to gain leverage on. One of the things that I want to make sure that you do is to use strong verbs. By strong verbs, I'm talking about these workhorses in your titles. You want to make sure that every word is valuable. Avoid using weak verbs like is and are. For example, instead of saying how to write a catchy social media post title, you would say write a catchy social media post title in 5 easy steps. What are those 5 easy steps? I want to know. The second tip is to be specific and actionable. Tell your audience exactly what they'll get when they click on your post. For example, instead of saying 10 tips for social media success, you could say 10 tips to grow your social media following by 1,000 followers in 30 days. Do you see you're giving them specific and actionable items? You're also giving them a result. Talking about numbers is numbers and statistics. People love numbers and statistics. Use them in your title to grab attention. For example, instead of saying how to increase your social media engagement, you could say how to increase your social media engagement by 20% in 7 days. Another thing to do is to go to Statistica. It's a great website and you can get stats on your industry. 55% of people engage with social media accounts more when they have a visual image. These are stats that you can use to increase your engagement, and people will find them like a fun fact. You can use like hashtag Fun Fact Friday. Like that's a great one. If you really want to knock it out of the park with engagement, you have to follow this one. And don't forget, stay to the end because I'm going to be sharing some other tips that you are not going to want to miss because they're going to help you grow your engagement. But this one is an engagement booster like no other. Asking questions is a great conversation starter to get people thinking, engaged, and interested in what you have to say. It shows that you are interested in learning more about them and their perspective. Here are some examples that you can use. What's your biggest challenge with? Insert whatever your industry is. I could say, what's your biggest challenge with social media What's your favorite, whatever appeals? Say you are in a tree service company. Maybe you put in, what is your favorite tree, or what is your favorite season, or what is your favorite thing about fall? One of the ones I like to use is, what kind of social media content do you like to see? Or what's your favorite social media platform? Those are two really great questions that I get people talking, but I also get people arguing like, no, Facebook rocks. No, Instagram, it's TikTok. Get out of the old world and into the new. Like, those are topics that could also create community within your post. Another great example of a question is, what are your tips for? And then insert whatever it could be. Say you're a health and wellness expert. What are your tips for sticking to your exercise routine? And what you're doing is, even though you know the answer to that, you're asking your followers what their favorite tips are. That's going to give you insight into your people, as well as giving you engagement boosting content in your feed. Another one is, what are your favorite tools and resources? Let's go back to the health and wellness person. What's your favorite tool to stay on track with your exercise? What's your favorite music that you listen to when you are walking? Anything like that can engage your audience. When you ask questions in your post titles, you start a conversation with your audience and you get them engaged with your content. This can lead to more clicks, more views, more shares. And come on, guys, that's what we're here for, right? To communicate with our people. Don't think of your social media as a one-way street. If you do, you are missing the point. You are missing the whole point of social media. It is networking. Remember, social networking? That's what it was called before it was called social media. It's networking with your people. Ask those questions and get those answers and use them in your business to help you further your marketing. This is one of my favorite things, but you got to be careful. I warn you with this. Use humor and creativity. Don't be afraid to use humor and creativity in your titles. A funny or unique title can really stand out from the crowd. For example, instead of saying how to write a blog post that goes viral, great title, but you could say how to write a blog post that will make your mom proud. It's silly. I'm not talking about like insane humor here. This is just a little punny, a little fun thing that you can use. Of course, be careful with humor because it may be perceived differently by different people. Here is one of the things that I always espouse, because when you are looking at a post, remember, every time you create a social media post, you are creating a unique web page. Did you know that? If you share a YouTube video or you share an Instagram post, that has a unique URL. That has a unique web address. Remember SEO, search engine optimization? When you write a caption, that is being picked up by search engines. Make sure you're using relevant keywords, because when people search for keywords on social media, and they'll search for it on social media, but they'll also search for it on Google, and they'll search for it on other places. And remember, Google is picking up all this stuff. Make sure you use those relevant keywords in your titles to increase your chance of being found. For example, if you were writing a post about how to increase your social media engagement, you could use keywords like social media engagement, social media growth, social media tip, social media tips for businesses. Start niching down, start being specific. You'll be amazed at what the response will be when you add those to your title, because that's the first thing they're going to see. And of course, if you're not sure what to do, test different titles, test different title types. I gave you a whole bunch to try. There's not a one-size-fits-all approach to writing a catchy social media title or a hook. What works for one person, even in the same industry, may not work for the other. Remember, your brand is your foundation. It relies on your brand. Experiment with different titles. See what works best for your audience. Think of it like A/B testing. I'm going to test this. I'm going to test that. I'm going to see what resonates with my audience best. And then guess what? If you see a noticeable increase in one of those types that we just shared, maybe that's what your audience wants to see more of. Why not do more posts like that? Or Just mix it up. Maybe your audience wants variety. You're not going to know unless you try it, but you have to test and watch those metrics. If you have a hard time with metrics and coming up with catchy titles and all of this other stuff, make sure you check out Painless Posting. It's a great tool. I'll put the link in the chat below, but I've got to tell you, Painless Posting helps people so much with trying to figure out how to write captions because it uses AI and it adds some of the tips I'm going to be sharing with you in the next section. And it uses a few things that will help you get even more exposure because it has a built-in AI that gets to learn about you and your brand and your manner of speaking and your tone of voice. Here are a few more tips on how to write catchy social media post titles or hooks. I call them hooks. You could call them titles. It doesn't matter. The thing is, what's that first sentence? First things first. Keep your title concise, to the point. Get to the point. Not all this, hey, how's it going? Blah, 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 blah. Nobody cares. They want to know what you're going to help them with. Aim to about 50 to 60 characters or even less if you can do it. I always like to use emojis as a big tip. Use emojis. It adds visual interest. It makes your title more engaging and it adds a pop of color. It is a quick and easy emotion grabber because emojis can do something like if you put a purple heart versus you put a lightning bolt. Two different things, two different emojis, two different emotions. Play around with capitalization. Make your titles stand out. Don't overuse it because you could get dinged on the algorithm. But here's another thing. There is a website called Fancy Fonts. I'll put the link in the comments below, but there is a way that you can create these very different looking fonts that are going to be picked up and it will, pop out like you wouldn't believe. Make sure you check that out because it is a true attention grabber. The other thing you can do is add brackets or parens for additional information or to ask questions. That's also a great way to put like a little punny thing, like you put a little like thing that says, hey, don't forget, this is fall. And I mean autumn, don't fall. That's a very bad joke, but you get what I'm saying, right? Another thing is to use symbols and punctuation and make sure your titles are more visually appealing. Of course, when you use a number sign for a hashtag, that's fine, but you can use percentage. It depends on what that hook is. Like when we were talking about statistics, having a percentage sign, it's like, oh, wait a minute, that's not a word, that's something different. It stops the person and they have to think. It's not just a word that makes it easy to see. We want them to stop and read, and that is our goal. If you follow these tips, you can create catchy social media post titles that will help you increase your click-through rate. It will help you get more views on your content, engage your audience, and promote your brand. I hope these tips help you write those catchy social media post titles that will grab your audience's attention. Remember, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. If you found this helpful, please make sure you give us that thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that bell and subscribe so that you can be informed every time we release a new video about social media and how you can improve your brand's presence online. And check out this video. It's going to help you with another aspect of social media that I think you'll find helpful following up to this one.